What's going on, guys? Rogue One hits theaters this week, and is it just me, or does it seem like Star Wars has seeped into every crevice of the galaxy? But believe it or not, a long time ago, in a galaxy not that far, far away, we lived in a world where Star Wars was not under a microscope. And that cleared the way for some pretty funny interviews featuring your favorite actors that have remained buried in internet obscurity. But no more! Get ready to make the jump to light speed because Screen Junkies presents the craziest Star Wars interviews you've never seen until now. First up, let's travel to the year 1977 and a world that had no clue what the hell anything in the Star Wars universe even was.
100-year-old Wookiee, whatever that is. What do Wookiees look like?
Wookiees are about 7'4". They're very hairy everywhere. Palms of their hands, maybe in the inside of their mouths, I don't know.
Star Wars was such a massive hit at the time that even its cast members were caught by surprise, which led to tons of awkward interviews. Whether it was respected actor Peter Cushing trying to figure out who his character even was.
Wonder what a grand moth is. Sounds like something that came out of a closet, clothes closet. A grand moth, you know.
Harrison Ford trying to seduce this reporter.
Harrison, are you beginning to see the effects of Star Wars on your personal life and your career? Maybe things that haven't been happening up till now for you?
Well, there are a lot more scripts for me to read and a lot more people interested in using my services, much to my delight.
Or Mark Hamill, just trying to explain the plot.
It's impossible to really tell the plot because the plot's not that important. It's the experience you feel when you watch it. It's when you analyze, like I read a synopsis that came from 20th Century Fox, and I, just as a testing out of people's opinions, I would give them the synopsis and have them read it. And they'd get halfway down and just say, well, it's complete nonsense.
One thing's for sure, they were already sick of talking about Star Wars.
Can you walk down the streets in the United States?
I can if I want to spend 4 hours discussing Star Wars, and to tell you the truth, I'm sick of it.
Fortunately, Billy D. Williams came down from Cloud City to help do press for the sequels. Unfortunately, it became abundantly clear that Billy D. Williams didn't know as much about Star Wars as he does about Colt 45.
Han Solo and Princess Leia and the Wookiee and
3CPO.
Okay, rookie mistake. We'll let that one pass. But Billy D. Williams then had 3 years to do his homework before Return of the Jedi. I'm sure things were better doing the press for that movie, right?
Now, those are the Admiral. And there was an earlier guy in a mask. Those were real people in masks.
Yeah, but don't ask me their names. I think the creature that's right next to me, my co-pilot, is Akbar or something.
It was some
strange name like that.
Oh, Billy D. Come on, how could you forget Nub? That was your co-pilot. He was like your Chewie. Luckily, this wasn't the worst performance by a cast member in a press interview. That distinction goes to Mr. David Prowse, the man inside the mask, inside the Darth Vader costume. Watch him walk right to the edge, then tumble off, and then bury himself when he reaches the bottom in this interview from 1980.
The problem was, as you obviously realize, I have a West Country accent.
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
very slight, very slight. And I don't think they could do Darth Vader with an English accent. That was the big problem. And also, you see, the character being a big black character that he is.
Don't do it.
I think George really wanted an obvious black voice, and they got James Earl Jones in to do it.
Pull up. To
me, there is a very obvious Negro voice.
That was not comfortable to listen to. So, let's cleanse our palates by talking about the one thing Star Wars might be most famous for: merchandising. And while it may be a well-oiled precision mechanism now, the Star Wars money machine was sputtering a little bit at first. Here's the original trailer for the first film, which isn't so much exciting as the opposite of that.
Star Wars, 1 billion years in the making, and it's coming to your galaxy this summer.
Geez, pick up the pace, guys, come on! 3 years later, The Empire Strikes Back released its first trailer, made entirely out of concept art with really aggressive transitions.
Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, Han Solo, C-3PO, R2-D2, Chewbacca, and introducing Landau Calrissian.
Can you imagine if The Force Awakens had done that? Riots in the streets. They didn't even get Lando's name right. Finally, the first teaser for Return of the Jedi got a little closer to modern trailers, but it came out so early, the name of the film wasn't even right.
Revenge of the Jedi. Coming next summer to a theater in your galaxy.
But you can't blame the marketing team for not getting the trailers right. They were busy slapping the Star Wars brand on anything with a pulse or a price tag. Here are Carrie Fisher and James Earl Jones struggling their way through 1-800 number promos.
They managed to rescue the princess and to destroy the
But the Rebel Alliance must and will succeed in forever riding the galaxy of their Oh.
You can just pick it up.
No, I don't care. I'll do it again.
They managed to rescue the princess and to destroy the... They managed to rescue the princess.
But the Rebel Alliance must and will succeed in forever ridding the galaxy of their scourge. What the hell is that? Why do you give me this ancient dialogue to say?
Tell
but
us.
it's so rank, Char. What am I? Oh, God.
Right here is a Kenner ad. That's literally just for a box to hold your Star Wars stuff in.
From Kenner, it's the Star Wars mini action figure collector's case. Action figures sold separately. The collector's case holds 24 Star Wars action figures.
Oh, and folks, who wouldn't want this amazing R2-D2 toy? It even makes the world's most annoying sound.
It's Star Wars radio-controlled R2-D2. 2 9-volt and 2 C alkaline batteries not included. You can make R2-D2 move, beep, and flash his light by wireless radio control.
Wow, what a living nightmare!
My turn, Dad.
By 1983, Star Wars was such an obsession that worlds began colliding. Here's a 1983 making-of documentary with an interesting host.
Return of the Jedi is the 3rd episode of the middle trilogy. In other words, George Lucas sees this epic adventure as 3 trilogies, 3 sets of 3 films each, or 9 episodes that will span 40 years. Right now, we're going to look at some footage having to do with designing the new creatures and aliens from the 3rd episode of the Star Wars saga.
Oh, come on, that's just not right. That's like Superman showing up in a Marvel movie. Star Wars and Star Trek should never cross streams. The world was going so crazy, people were even willing to pay what was top dollar back in the day to get to see the movie.
The Force is with more than just the characters in this latest edition of Star Wars. It will be also felt in your wallets, where tickets are going for $4.50 to $5.
$5 for a movie? What's next? $1.50 gas?
But then no one seems to mind anyway.
And finally, we move on to what has become the lifeblood of the modern Star Wars fan. Speculating about Star Wars. We live in a world where we can look forward to watching a new Star Wars movie every year until the sun goes supernova and destroys us all. But back in the late 70s and early 80s, the future of Star Wars was very uncertain. Here's the cast getting a lot wrong, but a couple of things very right about the Star Wars sequels and prequels.
The sequel that's being written now has nothing to do with following up this story. It's just a whole different story. And it won't be called Star Wars 2. It'll be like, you know, From Alderaan with Love and The Alien Who Loved Me.
Basically, this is the 2nd of 3 films that tell one story, and they were originally called The Adventures of Luke Skywalker, and it just was too big to get on the marquee.
It just so happens that the next trilogy after the next film will go 20 years earlier and tell of the young Alec Guinness character and how Darth Vader came to power, and then we wouldn't be involved in those.
This is the 3rd. Is there going to be another one? What do they say?
I don't think so. I mean, Han and I sort of choosing what planet to live on and having a child that grows up with hair like that and so forth. No, I think they were considering doing the prequels, 1, 2, and 3. And I don't know that they're going to do that now.
So loyal to George, and I owe him so much. He at one time said, would you consider playing an Obi-Wan type character handing Excalibur down to the Next Generation. I said, when would that be? And at the time he said around 2011. I thought, gee, as much as I'd like to have a job lined up at the turn of the century, I was figuring out how old I'd be at that point.
You know, it's good to see Mark Hamill get something so right after getting things wrong for so many years. So what'd you think? Do you see your favorite Star Wars actors just a little bit differently? Are you excited for when me and Screen Junkies dig up awkward Rogue One interviews sometime in the year 2046? Let me know in the comments below. We want to know. I want to thank you for watching. I'm Hal Rudnick. Hit me up on Twitter. Bye-bye. Hey guys, did you know that this end card works with your phone now? I know, right? Click the boxes below to watch more Screen Junkies videos, and click the Screen Junkies logo to subscribe and get this show, honest trailers, movie fights, and more.